air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The South Sudan Embassy in Kenya has dismissed a media report suggesting that President Salva Kiir's recent visit to the United Arab Emirates aimed at seeking a financial bailout aimed at a legal case involving embassy staff suing the government over unpaid salaries. The governor of Central Equatorial State has directed Juba County Commissioner to immediately stop the ongoing demarcation and allocation of residential plots along the two public roads in Luripayam. And the National Police Service has dismissed claims circulating on social media that some suspected teenage gang members arrested in the ongoing crackdown in Juba were sent to the front lines. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Baria Johnson, and now the news in detail. The governor of Central Equatorial State has directed Juba County Commissioner to immediately stop the ongoing demarcation and allocation of residential plots along two public roads in Luripayam. According to a statement from the governor's press secretary, sections of these 40-meter wide roads were being illegally marked and distributed as residential plots. The roads in questions connect 4 residential blocks in Jopa to Gurei, as well as another road in Gudele West, located behind Kubri Haboba and extending toward Mary Queen Church. Press Secretary Wake Simon stated that Governor Rabbi Mujung Emmanuel did not authorize the conversion of these public roads into private residential plots. In response, the governor has directed the Commission of Juba County to immediately stop the activities. In the statement issued today, the governor declared, and I quote, "In the light of the above, General Rabbi Mujung Emmanuel, Governor of Central Equatorial State, hereby directs the Commission of Juba County to immediately halt all such activities along the mentioned roads until further notice. These roads should with immediate effect be preserved and used for their intended public purposes. Residents or individuals affected by the directive are advised to report to the office of the Commission of Juba County for further guidance." The South Sudan Embassy in Kenya has dismissed a media report suggesting that President Salva Kiir's recent visit to the United Arab Emirates aimed at seeking a financial bailout amid a legal case involving embassy staff suing the government over unpaid salaries. Helen Samuel files this report.
The report published by the East African Daily on July 5th claimed that 9 Kenyan nationals have filed a lawsuit against the South Sudan government over $320,196 USD in unpaid salary arrears. The article linked the case to South Sudan's broader economic difficulties, including delays in paying civil servants both at home and abroad. In a separate publication, the same outlet ran a story titled "South Sudan Seeks UAE Bailout as Economy Crashes," alleging that the country's economic crisis, worsened by the ongoing war in Sudan, prompted President Kiir to make 2 recent trips to the UAE, including a June 2022 visit to reportedly seek financial support. However, in a press statement to iRadio Newsroom, the South Sudan Embassy in Nairobi rejected the report's characterization of the president's visit, calling the headline misleading. The embassy clarified that President Kiir's visit was a high-level diplomatic engagement focused on strengthening bilateral cooperation with the UAE. It stated, and I quote, The embassy rejects in the strongest terms the misleading title of the article and in particular the implication regarding the recent state visit of the President of the Republic of South Sudan to the United Arab Emirates. The visit was a high-level diplomatic engagement aimed at strengthening bilateral cooperation with the UAE. It was not, as implied, a plea for financial rescue, end quote. The embassy said that presenting the visit as a plea for financial risk misrepresented the mission's true purpose and distorted the image of South Sudan's foreign policy. While acknowledging the issue of salary arrears, the embassy noted that the problem affects both Kenyan and South Sudanese staff depending on their contracts and length of service. According to the statement, steps were already underway to address the issue before the article's publication. It revealed that on Tuesday, July 3rd, the new head of mission held a 40-minute meeting with the legal representative of some Kenyan staff, also attended by one of the affected employees. During the meeting, the head of mission acknowledged the salary arrears, explained the underlying challenges, and assured the lawyer that a resolution was in progress. The embassy said it is working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation on a piecemeal payment plan to settle the outstanding salaries. The embassy concluded by stating that the mission in Nairobi will continue to engage transparently and constructively with all concerned parties to resolve the matter. Helen Samuel reporting for iRadio News.
Thank you, Helen Samuel. The National Police Service has dismissed claims circulating on social media that some suspected teenage gang members arrested in the ongoing crackdown in Juba were sent to the front lines. A photo widely shared online showed a cargo plane at Juba International Airport with the suspects lined up to board. The image triggered public debate with some speculating that the youth were being transported to Nasir County, a hotspot for ongoing clashes between government forces and armed groups. Human rights activists expressed concerns and called for clarity regarding the whereabouts of the detained individuals. In response, police spokesperson Major General James Monday refuted the allegations as baseless rumors. He clarified that suspects had been relocated to other states within the country for rehabilitation and counseling, not for combat deployment. Speaking to iRadio on Sunday, Major General Monday stated,
"For those who are saying the arrested criminals have been sent to the front line, this is baseless because it is soldiers who have been recruited according to the law, whose ages are above 18 years, and they are trained all the tactics of the soldiers or of the police, and then they can be sent to operations. The lies or rumors that they have been sent to the front line is not correct. What is happening is the detention centers in Juba is limited. So once they become overwhelming, then they are distributed to other detention centers elsewhere in the state, within the country, for counseling and reformation. So this is the process. All those rumors are baseless. This is what I want to clarify. So this is what I can tell the public.
The arrest followed a coordinated operation by the police and South Sudan People's Defense Forces targeting gang activities in areas including Sherkat, Gudele, Nyakurona New Side, identified as crime hotspots. Hundreds of young men were apprehended during a series of night raids in recent days. You are listening to iRadio Afternoon News. Some South Sudanese scholarship students in India have expressed dissatisfaction with the Ministry of Higher Education's handling of complaints regarding the alleged unfair selection of 2025 scholarship candidates to study in India. The students are calling for a review of the selection criteria and a transparent explanation to help restore public trust in what they describe as a vital national program. Rejoice Diko, a South Sudanese student leader in India, said the process has sparked deep concern and a disappointment among many qualified students who were excluded despite holding valid university admission letters. Her remarks follow a statement by Dr. Atem Kwer Jog, the Director General of Training and External Relations Affairs at the Ministry, who told iRadio last week that all applicants applied online to Indian universities through the scholarship program. Dr. Quer explained that out of 457 applicants, only 30 were selected. He noted that while past selections were distributed across the states and 3 administrative areas, the new ministerial policy prioritizes merit-based selection. However, Rejoice Diko is challenging the transparency of the process and demanding that the ministry disclose the identities of the 7 committee members responsible for the 2025 selection.
This is a response to Director General of Training and External Relation Affairs to the recent scholarship selection process. On behalf of our student body, I respectively challenge the transparency and fairness of the selection. We ask that you publicly name the 7 committee members who were responsible for selecting the students and explain the criteria they use. The public deserves to know what process and approaches were followed during the selection. As it stands, the distribution of scholarship was not equally across the 10 states and the 3 administrative areas. This has caused deep concern and disappointment among many qualified students who were left out, despite having valid university admissions. We respectively request a review of the selection criteria and a transparent explanation to restore trust in this important national initiative.
Another student leader, Martha Atek Pew, said the current selection process appears to have strayed from a 2022 agreement aimed at ensuring fairness and regional balance.
The recent selection process for ICSR scholarship seems to have diverted from the 2022 agreement between the Embassy of India in the Republic of South Sudan and Ministry of Higher Education. In 2022, the ministry requested the embassy to give them the responsibility of selecting students, since the embassy was selecting on merits, such that the Ministry of Higher Education can distribute the opportunity to 10 states and 3 administrative areas for transparency purpose. However, it has appeared now that the Ministry of Higher Education is selecting students based on merits rather than committing to the agreement planned upon distribution of the opportunity to 10 state and 3 administrative areas. To clarify the situation, it's essential to consider the 2022 agreement to promote transparency and fairness in selecting process by the distribution of opportunity across 10 state and 3 administrative areas.
According to the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, the scholarships are intended to strengthen diplomatic ties and support the development of South Sudan's human capital. And finally, the National Parliament's Committee for Finance and Economy is planning to bring together national and state ministries of finance and the revenue Commissioner Generals to come up with tax policies. The initiative aims to foster coordination between the national and state ministries of finance and the Revenue Authority. MP Susan Thomas presented the proposal during a meeting with the Commissioner General of the South Sudan Revenue Authority in Juba on Saturday, focusing on duties imposed on imported goods. Speaking on the state-run South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation (SSBC), the lawmaker suggested an urgent 2-day workshop involving finance and revenue officials from national, state, and administrative area levels. Although no specific date was announced, Susan Thomas said the workshop will bring together state finance ministers and commissioner generals from the 3 administrative areas to align tax strategies and discuss regional benchmarks.
We are going to call a 2-day workshop for all the revenue generating collecting agencies to sit together and bring the state ministers and the commissioner generals at the state level and the 3 administrative areas, so that he present to us this presentation on this benchmarking on all the other 7 countries in the region, so that South Sudan can sit down and come up with tax policies which can enable the government to collect taxes and even our agricultural produces, so that we can create market for them and even encourage our producers to produce their goods so that they can sell them and get something.
The call for coordinated tax policy comes amid ongoing tensions between the South Sudan Revenue Authority and the Central Equatorial State Government regarding tax collection in Juba. In June, the South Sudan Revenue Authority argued that the state government lacks the mandate to collect taxes in the capital, a claim the state government strongly rejected, citing its constitutional authority. Last week, the Revenue Authority divided Juba into tax zones and began registering taxpayers, a move that was swiftly opposed by the state government. The South Sudan Revenue Authority later suspended the decision following the backlash. You're listening to iRadio News, and now to the regional and international news with my colleague Nyamot Pod.
Good afternoon. Let's have a look at the stories making headlines in the region and beyond. Kenya's security force have blocked all major roads leading into central Nairobi ahead of planned nationwide protests. Much of the city center is deserted, with businesses shut and a heavy security presence on the streets. Some schools have advised students to stay at home. Hundreds of early morning commuters and overnight travelers were stranded at checkpoints, some located more than 10 kilometers from the city center, with only a few vehicles allowed through. Elsewhere, 12 Turkish soldiers have died after being exposed to methane gas while searching a cave in Iraq. The Turkish Ministry of National Defense said at least 19 personnel were exposed to the gas during the search and clear operation on Sunday and immediately taken to hospital. By Monday, 12 soldiers had died, the ministry said. Finally, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has visited U.S. as Trump puts pressure to Gaza ceasefire deal. Trump previously told reporters he had been very firm with Netanyahu about ending the conflict and that he thought we will have a deal this week. Indirect talks between Israel and Hamas on a U.S.-sponsored proposal for a 60-day ceasefire and hostage release deal resumed in Qatar on Sunday evening. That's all from the stories making headlines in Africa and beyond. And now back to you, Baria Johnson.
Thank you, Nyamot. And now to the sports news with Lasuba Memo.
Thanks, Baria Johnson. In the world of sports, let's cross to Morocco, where the hosts proved they have spirit by claiming a late draw in the opening match of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The Atlas Lionesses trailed twice against Zambia, but Ghislaine Chebak's long-range strike in the 88th minute ensured that the North Africans picked up a point in the Group A encounter in Rabat. Chelsea are expecting to field offers of more than £50 million for winger Noni Madueke, who is of strong interest to Arsenal this summer. Telegraph Sport first revealed Arsenal's interest in Madueke last month, and the North London club are now advancing in talks for the 23-year-old. It is also understood that during talks between those clubs, Chelsea expressed a tentative interest in Arsenal teenager Ethan Ranuel. Mexico fought back from conceding an early goal to beat Mauricio Pochettino's United States and defend their Gold Cup title in Houston, Texas. Former Tottenham and Chelsea manager Pochettino saw his team gain a fourth-minute lead through Crystal Palace defender Chris Richards. He headed in from Sebastian Berhalter's kick with the ball bouncing back off the underside of the crossbar and just crossing the line. Finally, Jannik Sinner and Novak Djokovic could potentially meet in a blockbuster semi-final at Wimbledon, but there is work for both to do before then, starting with their respective fourth-round matches on Monday. World number one Sinner and sixth seed Djokovic have arguably been the two most impressive players in the men's draw so far. Italian Sinner has won 3 Grand Slams but is yet to breach a Wimbledon final, while Serb Djokovic is aiming to equal Roger Federer's tally of 8 titles and SW19. That's all in the world of sports. Back to you, Barry Johnson.
This is iRadio News, and to end this bulletin, here are the headlines once again. The South Sudan Embassy in Kenya has dismissed a media report suggesting that President Salva Kiir's recent visit to the United Arab Emirates aimed at seeking a financial bailout amid a legal case involving embassy staff suing the government over unpaid salaries. The governor of Central Equatorial State has directed Juba County Commissioner to immediately stop the ongoing demarcation and allocation of residential plots along 2 public roads in Luripayam. And the National Police Service has dismissed claims circulating on social media that some suspected teenage gang members arrested in the ongoing crackdown in Juba were sent to the front lines. That's the end of iRadio Afternoon News. If there is a story or an event you would like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned.